So, wow. What a race.
Mind
Historic race.
blown. Literal mind blown.
Don't even know. Well, I do know where to start. We're going to try and go through this more or less in order of as it happened in the race. We're gonna go through the journey of this incredible race that we witnessed.
Relive it.
Starting, we are. We're going to go through, take those steps again. I'm going to stand up for the whole second half of this podcast, just like I was when I was watching the race. I could not sit down.
Oh, man.
Okay, so let's start with what happens just on the immediate lead up to the race. We've just had these engine mode changes. The vibe is that, it's just had no impact, and if anything, it's made Mercedes even better. But we actually saw the impact in the race instead. That was where it actually had an impact. Disappointing qualifying result for Renault. I expected them to do a lot better.
I'm a little bit disappointed as well. And I put both Renault drivers in my fantasy F1 thinking that they were going to have a solid result just like Spa. It did not happen. Mind you, no matter what I did, I probably wasn't going to get the result I was expecting going into Monza, the temple of speed, and not see who we didn't see on the podium. Oh, it makes me happy just thinking about it.
Albon much improved as well.
Yes, definitely.
In his showing compared to Verstappen. I think it was about 0.3 between them in qualifying.
That's not
overall,
bad at all.
Not great for them, but yeah, that's more the kind of gap you expect. Like Max is obviously a top tier driver. Albon doesn't have to be necessarily as good as Max, but he's got to be within that window where he can be a teammate and not just another car somewhere a bit further back.
Yeah, I mean he's improved throughout the season. Start of the season, he started off being 6, 7 tenths behind, and now to be within 3 tenths of, I think we can agree with a very good driver. Max isn't just a driver. He's an excellent driver, and he's been pushing that Red Bull to its full potential and more in some places. So to get within 3 tenths, I think that's exactly where he needs to be. So yeah, he gets a lot of criticism, but it's done well. Did well this qualifying.
Now we've seen a lot of statistics and facts and stuff coming out in this Grand Prix because of how historical it is. And another one getting broken after qualifying is that this was Vettel's worst ever start at Monza. He even started better in his first Italian Grand Prix for Toro Rosso. He started 16th and he started 17th. It's the worst ever grid position for Vettel.
It didn't get
I know
much
that's
better
not
either.
good news, but sorry.
It was
and
almost,
it didn't get any better, no.
It was almost good that there was no fans there because Ferrari didn't have a great weekend.
And he said that too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Sebastian said that.
And obviously we'll get onto that, but sticking to qualifying, I think it was very good. Wasn't as completely barbaric as last year.
Yeah.
Although there were some close calls with incidents. I'm not gonna lie, I saw Hamilton coming down the penultimate straight, coming out of the Ascari chicane. And he had 2 wheels off the track to get past the queue of cars for the last turn, looking for the pit straight. Yeah, mad. It shouldn't happen. One car went out. I think it was Sainz who went out straight away and was just like, you know what, I'm going to go for my lap. Or it might have been Ricciardo actually. Ricciardo was like, you know what, I'm going to go for my lap. Don't need any other cars. I want a nice clean lap. Don't want to look like an idiot. And the rest of them just. I know.
Complaining about that.
Yeah, it's difficult because it's a very power dependent track, and you get a couple of attempts off with the toe, so it's all to play for. But actually, if this race showed anything, it's not all to play for in qualifying. Don't get points for qualifying, get points in the race. So stop clowning around and causing accidents, almost potentially causing accidents. Get on with it, and then fight in the race. And I know that.
Is there anything that can be done to avoid this sort of thing in the future? Do you think? I
don't know. Norris made a good. Well, I wouldn't say it's a. Sorry, I wouldn't say it's a good point or a bad point, but his point was maybe if this is going to happen in future, then release the cars with a 10-second gap or 5-second gap on constructor championship order. So just out of the pits, every 5 seconds another car goes, leaving adequate space. Yeah. But then that doesn't stop them slowing down on the track. The FIA put a time delta on the track for the slowest lap time, and they introduced that for FP3. And yet there were cars going slower than the time delta in FP3, but nothing was done about it. It was managed better in qualifying, but yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Can anything be done about it?
It's hard to know how to change it in such a way that it doesn't spoil the overall strategy that comes with qualifying. I mean, it's really only this track that it happens at. Do we really want to damage qualifying overall just to save this going on in Monza? I don't know. It is bloody dangerous places.
But it's good to watch as well. It's an interesting qualifying session. But you mentioned the word strategy there, and I don't want to hang around on qualifying too much, but I said this to my other half when we were watching it. Everyone was just waiting for Mercedes to come out the garage, and then everyone else
everyone
went,
sat there like, no,
Yeah.
you go first. You go
"You
first.
go first." It was just after you, after you. And for you audio listeners, I'm literally just waving at myself. It's just like we had 9 pit engineers standing outside waiting for Mercedes to make that call, and because they're the furthest up the pit lane, the majority of other cars managed to get out before they even got to the exit of the pit. So, interesting, very
Yeah.
controversial, just like the pit lane. Ooh, so much to talk about. But that's all I've got to say on qualifying. Mad qualifying, really exciting stuff. A little bit dangerous. Just need to behave a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the Temple of Speed for you. So
Mm.
yeah, that's qualifying.